As you know, this meeting is recorded and will be uploaded to public internet. So I have a couple of updates for you regarding like several things that happened recently. You know, last week I told you that there was an issue in the scheduler with the new scheduler queue. Basically, that issue, most of the PRs are already merged for the case that a pod, which is tried frequently with the same priority compared to other pods in the queue, is not schedulable, and unschedulable pod or pods get the head of block the head of the queue. So that one is merged. We are working on a couple other improvements for the scheduling queue. One is the back off mechanism for the scheduling queue. The idea is that a pod that is tried frequently is backed off if it's not schedulable, and then retried after a certain timeout. Another idea that we are pursuing is to move unschedulable pods to the scheduling queue only when nodes have a meaningful change. Both of these PRs are out there. We are reviewing them, and hopefully we can merge them soon. There was a performance regression in the scheduler, turned out to be due to a change that we made in priority functions, which was actually more of a refactoring, but surprisingly it caused performance degradation. When we looked further in the code, we realized that the previous code was running almost all the priority functions in parallel, but after we refactored, the new code was running the old style priority functions, which was not in the MapReduce format first, and then once those finished, it would start the new style, which is in MapReduce format. So I changed this back to the previous style or previous parallel algorithm, and it seems to have addressed the performance regression. These are some of the updates that I wanted to give you regarding things that happened in the past week or so. There are items that I would like to talk about since some of the folks are here today. One is actually, Ravi, you are here. So I wanted to see what are our plans or your time with respect to working on pod limit priority. That's one of the items. Ravi,
yeah. So I have an integration test PR like created before the code freeze last for 1.13. I will probably get some time next week to work on this. Some of the tests were failing. The integration tests, they have been solid red. So I need to debug why it is failing. So that's one thing that I'm going to work on next week.
Yeah, sounds good. You know, also we were thinking about promoting the scheduler as a standard component. And one of the features that was lacking was the fact that the scheduler today does not have a simulation mechanism. Do you or other folks in your organization have any plans to add that mechanism to the scheduler?
At this point of time, I do not see any use cases. Like, at least from the customer side, we are not seeing anything. But from the community, if there is like a need, we can certainly work on that.
Yeah, so you know, one of the things that I actually don't know, given that your organization has had like major changes recently, I don't know if how is your schedule and whether you guys are still actively working on the projects that you used to work or not. So that's an area that we don't know. But if you have the time, yeah, that would certainly be useful. I think that's something that we should either, in the open source community, we should either find other folks who are willing to work on this, or if you guys are willing to work on it, we should ask you to continue that work, and hopefully that will bring the scheduler closer to something that we can use in production, I think.
Sure. Yeah. So probably starting January, we'll have one more intern joining us who can work with us on scheduler and Kubernetes. So since dscheduler is not much of a big code base, it should be in reasonable time frame for the new person to pick that up. So
sure. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, that's fine. So, and then there was one other item which I'm not so sure if we are gonna pursue. That was like the priority function for balanced number of attached volumes.
yeah, so this is something that that came in as a request from OpenShift dedicated team, which runs OpenShift as a service. So I at this point of time, people have found alternatives. Not using scheduler as such, but they have found alternatives to this functionality.
Okay.
But if you think that there is a need in the community as such, the only thing remaining in this feature, especially, is trying to find out the performance aspects, like how if we include this priority function by default, is there going to be any performance degradation? That's something that we need to evaluate.
Right, right, exactly. So that's the main thing that was basically the main blocker for moving this to beta. We didn't have the answer to that question, and we felt that this feature might slow down the scheduler. So I don't know. This is something that I believe you proposed, and I don't have any strong use cases for it at the moment. But if it's something that you want us to pursue, we will be happy to continue working on it with the community, of course, and find out if this is performant enough or not.
Yeah, so at this point of time, I don't think I'll have time to work on this.
Okay.
And since you're telling that there are not many use cases that we are seeing in the community, I'll try to postpone that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you very much, Ravi. Ray, you were here. So I saw that I guess you commented on one of these features that you're pursuing, which is like supporting interpod affinity to more than one pod. So you mentioned that apparently you may not have time to work on it for 114. Is that right, or I misunderstood?
No. I mean another one. I mean the support max or minimum pod for interpod affinity and anti-affinity.
Oh.
I don't mean that one. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, that one is a little harder. So okay. So this one so let me just.
Yeah, this one I think we have finished most of the part because we have ran several rounds of reviews, right? Between you and me.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like it was almost there, even in 113, but since 113 was supposed to be a stability release, we didn't want to really push it. So, but I agree with you. I felt like it's almost the supporting interpod affinity to more than one pod is almost done. Okay, so this is like max min pod affinity. Yeah, I saw that the comment is in the right place on the spreadsheet. Thanks for clarifying that.
I will do more polish after the KubeCon and hope get it down before New Year.
That sounds good. Okay, I guess these are all the updates for now that I have or wanted to hear. As you know, next week is KubeCon of North America. I won't be here. I will be attending KubeCon. If you're attending, I will see you there in person. And we are not going to have any SIG scheduling meeting next week. Around the same time, actually, like I don't know, like 4 or 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, there is going to be SIG scheduling deep dive at KubeCon. I'll be giving a talk, and we'll be there to hear your opinion and user opinion and feedback, comments. So I'll be happy to see you if you are there. With that, I open up to questions and comments that you guys have or updates that you have for us.
I don't have questions, but want to kind of promote my session a little bit. So on the second day, Second day should be Wednesday of KubeCon. At the last time slot, I will be giving a session about how to extend the Kubernetes load balancer in different cloud providers. So it's not exactly related with scheduling, but I will mention some concept and the knowledge I learned from SIG scheduling. It's more related with SIG network or SIG cloud provider.
So you said it's the second day of KubeCon. What time?
Wednesday at the last session of that day. Wednesday.
Last session. Okay.
But it's in conflict with the SIG intro, scheduling intro, which clouds will give. Yeah. So maybe you won't be able to attend.
Oh well, we'll see. Yeah, I don't know, and it's a little unfortunate that I have a few talks that I want to attend, and there are conflicts. It shouldn't be very likely, but apparently it happens a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for letting us know. Is there any other question, comments?
Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. It's the first time I've attended this meeting. My name is Diana Arroyo. Actually, I should turn my camera on so you can see me. Oops, sorry. Hi.
Hi.
I've been working behind the scenes, essentially. I think Da Ma has been involved in this working group, and I thought I'd start participating a little bit just to get familiar with the team and the work that's being done as well. I'm in IBM research and been working in the scheduling area along with the rest of our team for quite a few years. So I just thought I might introduce myself.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Diana.
Nice to meet you.
All right, we look forward to seeing more contributions from you folks in the scheduling world. I will be happy to see more contributors and better features and stronger products.
Excellent. So are we.
Yeah. All right. I know that Deepak is also here. Deepak, do you want to give us a quick update about the state of Poseidon and the recent developments there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So as I sent out an email last week, so we ran next round of tests after the gang scheduling and the max part and all those new functionality. So yeah, so the trend pretty much stays the same. So as long as the resource requirements are uniform across jobs, we see pretty substantial throughput for normal parts. But the part affinity went down. So you guys did a lot of optimization actually as part of the 111. So our part affinity is essentially implemented exactly like the default scheduler currently, the one part at a time, because there's a better way of doing it in network flow graph approach. But we didn't, so this is based on the thesis actually, Unil and Malti published from University of Cambridge. And we ran into a lot of problems, so we kind of discontinued that. So this is kind of a stopgap thing for us. So we will see if we can do some kind of a short-term kind of optimization so that we stay pretty much at the same level where the default scheduler is. But our goal is essentially eventually to go down that path actually, to do the actual flow graph-based part affinity as well. So, and then based on our discussion, Bobby, so I'm in the process of putting together all the documentation stuff and all that. To essentially include the alternate scheduler, Poseidon firmament as the alternate scheduler, and bunch of things, introductions, and when would you want to use it, and that key advantages, and what stage we are. Yeah, so just kind of a brief.
Yeah. To just give a little bit more context to people who are not fully aware of this. Poseidon, as some of you folks know, is a firmament scheduler. It's based on firmament scheduler. Actually, it has a very, very high throughput compared to our current scheduler for scheduling a large number of pods with similar scheduling properties. It's not much better than our current scheduler in all scenarios. So, for example, recent results that Deepak sent out shows that it's not that great compared to our current scheduler for scheduling pods with affinity and anti-affinity. This is what he also mentioned, just mentioned basically. And But our plan is to introduce this as an alternative scheduler for people who may need to have very high throughput for the scheduler. Of course, it's also not 100% compatible with all the APIs. So maybe if you use certain properties of pods, it may not work well. One area that is identified is actually volume binding or dynamic volume binding that Poseidon doesn't work.
Yeah, I think so. So one of the things which we are doing, Bobby, as you mentioned, we are going to put together a table actually. So that will kind of say, okay, so these are the features which default scheduler has, and for example, dynamic volume binding we don't support. So we're going to list out each one of them and say yes or no in front of them.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds great. So so we plan to basically show the users how to replace it and when it would be beneficial for them to use Poseidon as opposed to the standard scheduler. These are all the things that we wanted to talk about. If there is anything else, please raise them now. Otherwise, you will get more than 10 minutes back.
Where is the documentation for Poseidon going to? Is it going to be in?
Actually, Deepak and other folks are working on it. It's not in our formal document.
Okay. Is it going to be in Kubernetes documentation, or is it going to be hosted on somewhere on Firmament's or Poseidon's GitHub, and we will be pointing it there?
Well, I mean, at least we are going to have at least one page for Poseidon on the default Kubernetes website or like a formal Kubernetes website to introduce it and tell users where it's going to be beneficial for them to use Poseidon as opposed to the standard scheduler.
Some of the details. So it's going to be pretty much the same format as the current the documentation is, but some of the information like installation, which is going to keep on changing. So we just going to point a link to it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question or comments? I've said many times that if your PRs need my review, please let me know on Slack or somewhere else, or assign them directly to me. Otherwise, chances are I won't see them. Please continue doing so if you want my attention. All right. Looks like there is no other question or comment, so you get 10 minutes back. Thank you very much. I hope to see some of you folks next week at KubeCon. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.